All right, we're going to take a look at the Four Roses single barrel. This is one of the most recent batches that's been released, at least in PA. So...
Not getting a ton of a strong nose off of this one.
Right, it's just kind of like, it smells like a whiskey.
Yeah, it's not, I'm not getting a ton of, normal bourbon notes, but nothing, like, really standing out to me.
Right, and none of the bourbon notes really stand out over the others. It's just kind of, it has a full bourbon-y presence, if that makes sense, but nothing that, like, jumps out at you. Makes you scream that it's any different.
Yeah.
But... a little bit of bite.
Definitely a little bit of bite.
Very warm though, like pleasantly warm.
Yeah, it's very pleasantly warm. There's a little bit of a caramel in the finish, and it
lingers too.
Yes.
The caramel flavor definitely lingers, but it's almost like it almost tastes like a burnt caramel. Like not like straight. It's not. It doesn't taste super sweet.
That might be.
It almost has a smokiness.
That might be the heat kind of giving it that effect as well.
Right. But I mean, if they play hand in hand, that's what you're going to get from it. It's... a little bit of brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon almost a little bit more than the brown sugar, but it's not... And when I say it tastes like it has some brown sugar, it doesn't taste necessarily sweet.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's definitely like that kind of burnt caramel where it has sweet undertones, but it's pretty smoky.
Yeah, for sure.
And I should add that every single batch of this is going to obviously taste different, and it can be drastically different because it is a single barrel. This one, hopefully it can read the label. If not, this is Warehouse TS, and this is 35-4B. I don't know enough about Four Roses to necessarily know what part of the storehouse, what bottles from that warehouse typically get. So I don't necessarily know how this would compare to other bottles from other batches, or especially other parts of the warehouse, or other warehouses, but there's nothing unpleasant about it. It doesn't jump out at me.
Yeah,
it's definitely solid for the price, and it's complex enough that you get a little bit of that, like that burnt caramel. I can't say that I've had another one that has that kind of note to it. I don't know, again, if it's the heat doing that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not like... It tastes like a normal sweet bourbon until you get that burnt caramel.
And it's becoming more pronounced as it sits, too. It's becoming a little bit sweeter. It still gets some of that smokiness. But it's definitely, I mean, it's caramel through and through. Almost from the start. I mean, you get it on the nose, but it doesn't stand out like it does in the finish or anything.
Yeah.
It's solid. I see why people go with it. Because you get your variations. It's not super expensive. It's not impossible to find for a single barrel like Blanton's is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like the other Four Roses products, this is going to be up your alley. It's just whether or not you're going to like the individual complexities of each one. Because I haven't compared it to any others, obviously, but this tastes like a solid batch. I hope that the other ones are like up to the standard.
Yeah, and like I'll say this, like I prefer this. This is better to me than their small batch is. Like I know with some single barrels, like I prefer their the same brand.
That's how I thought I was with the Four Roses small batch, but I might just have had a bad single barrel.
See, I like the single barrel better. I'm not a huge fan of their small batch.
Yeah, I don't like the yellow label at all. And the small batch is good, like it's solid. At the price, I'd recommend it any day, especially if you want something that's readily available.
But I would
recommend find the Select, which is $60, but it's worth that $60.
Well, yeah, I'd recommend, as far as the small batch goes, the 1792 over a small batch. But
right.
I would.
I mean, it's a solid single barrel.
For sure, this is really good.
And this is under $45. I want to say it comes in at $43.99. in PA.
Yeah, this is good.
And yeah, I mean, you can hunt for Blantons, or here's a solid single barrel right here. And honestly, you know what? Keep looking for your Blantons because it means this stays readily available.
Exactly.
Because this is, I mean, I don't want to say it's a hidden gem because everyone knows Four Roses at this point, but it definitely doesn't get nearly the acclaim that a lot of other single barrels do, and it definitely deserves some of that.
For sure.
I'd buy a bottle.
I'd buy one of those for sure.
This is given to me, but I would definitely buy another bottle. And I would love to compare the two eventually, but no, this is
good shit.
Yeah, good shit.